Hey guys, I'm Ben and welcome to another episode of Underground Reviews. Hailing from the extremely fertile metal scene of Poland, Behemoth are one of many extreme metal acts to emerge from that stacked group of talented bands. Artists like Decapitated, Lost Soul and Hate have all made some of the best music of their respective genres, but easily the most successful and impactful would have to be the mighty Behemoth. These days, they are an institution unto themselves, with a legacy of amazing albums that's really hard to rival. Clearly, they are one of the biggest artists in the game, and especially since their 2014 album, The Satanist, they've reached almost mythic status for many fans. Unfortunately, the faith of many Behemoth fans has been tested somewhat in recent years, with their extremely divisive previous album, I Loved You at Your Darkest. Many fans felt that they strayed too far from what made them great, and that album drew heavy criticism from some circles. So to say that Opvs Contra Natvram has been greeted with some skepticism would be an understatement. So is the album a step in the right direction of righting the ship, or have they gone even further off the path here? Well, musically, Opvs Contra Natvram, I'm going to say it right one of these days, opens with the tribal-like pagan ritual sounds on Post-God Nirvana, with Nurgle adding some snarling entreaties to Satan. It's certainly more of an intro track, but more creative than the usual symphonic intro tracks we normally get from extreme metal bands these days. Malaria Vulgata is where the album really gets started, and we get more of a straightforward Behemoth track, replete with their Blackened Death extremities. One thing I enjoy is when extreme metal bands mix the bass in a way that's audible, especially when there is interesting movement happening on the instrument. That is certainly the case here, as there are many times when you can hear the bass line snaking around the riff in enjoyable and unexpected ways. Nothing over the top though, but it adds to the overall color, and that's awesome. The song The Deathless Sun is more of a melodic affair with memorable chorus, chanted choirs, and ripping guitar solos. And I found it very infectious and enjoyable, I have to say. Of My Herculean Exile adds some Greek lyrical themes and is more brooding. Again, Nurgle does a great job with the leads, and that part of the song was definitely the most exciting for me. The song Neo Spartacus comes out swinging with speed and aggression. Behemoth has always been great at sort of cultivating atmosphere and tension in the music, and here it's no different. Disinheritance leans heavily into Behemoth's theatrical tendencies and black metal sensibilities. A ferocious and exciting onslaught that builds in tension and explosiveness as the track continues. As they've done since their hugely popular album The Satanist, additional elements of orchestration and dark melody have been intertwined with their Blackened Death again here on Opvs Contra Natvram. Overall, they do a great job with it all, but perhaps not at the level achieved on The Satanist. The song Off to War is another fast, ripping track, which again builds the overall tension throughout and becomes more explosive as it moves forward. Again, expertly blending the traditional Blackened Death metal with synths and other demonic sounds. Once Upon a Pale Horse opens with a brooding guitar passage before becoming a quite bouncy, upbeat verse. Well, at least upbeat for extreme metal anyway. Then it changes again, moving into more like Morbid Angel territory briefly before returning to the blackness. Quite an unusual and cool track because of the changes. Again, as throughout the album, the leads are sounding fantastic and lift the track to new heights every time. Thy Becoming Eternal again marches forward apace with demonic choirs backing up Nurgle in his satanic pronouncements, Again, the theatricality is strong with this one. And where I know for some they find those elements of Behemoth's music to be an annoying divergence from the pure evil and hate they are known for, I personally think it elevates the music into something more exciting. Finally, the album closes with Versus Christus. Piano and clean, deep vocals open the song. Then it continues to build as Nurgle begins his usual gurgling growls, and the band ramps it up, eventually landing in some very tasty death metal riffing and chanted vocals. An epic and fitting way to end the album. Opvs Contra Natvram is definitely a return to form in my opinion. Perhaps not as thrilling as some of their previous works, but it's definitely heavier and more of what you would expect from Behemoth than their previous effort. The sound on the album is mostly pretty strong. However, a couple of minor gripes are the drums at times are a little loud in the mix, and the rhythm guitars at times are too buried. Besides that, however, it's sonically very enjoyable. For Behemoth fans, especially of the Satanist era, Opvs Contra Natvram feels like more of a continuation of that direction. Loaded with the theatricality, heaviness, and some standout performances, the album is a fine addition to the stellar Behemoth catalogue. Not the greatest album they've ever made, but definitely an interesting and engaging listen nonetheless. So how would I rate this one? I'd happily give this one a pretty solid 8 out of 10. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Stay metal, and see you next time.